I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me really do appreciate your time. Today is June 25th, 2024, 5:58 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all so much for joining me. And thank you so much, Kelly K, for 1 month. Really do appreciate your support, my dear. Thank you. Good to see you. Can you not hear me? Hold on. It might be my microphone. 1 second. No, my microphone should be good. Am I muted? Can y'all hear me? Just want to make sure. No, I'm muted. You can hear me? Okay. All right. Just making sure. All right. So, well, I was driving home from work and, I'm listening to Betty, what she's doing. I'm in the bushes and it got crazy. It got very crazy very quickly. And listen, Betty and I have recently disagreed on stuff. But Joyce, thank you so much for becoming a member, babe. Thank you so much. But I don't feel like that was right, what was done to her. I don't feel like that was right. And, I will always try to speak up for what I feel is right, at least. And I mean, this is, like I understood when people and there's things that I've done that I'm not proud of, behavior that I have done that I am not proud of in the past. But I don't feel like she was doing anything wrong. I really don't feel like she was doing anything wrong. I mean, she wasn't outside protesting. Um, she wasn't screaming, cussing, um, or anything. But there's others. Um, it doesn't matter what side you're on, but there's others that act a little irrational at times. In a case that's going on now, and we're talking about Betty. I'll play it in just a second. Now, things the things she said and done has been pretty awful, just being honest. Listen, I will be the first to tell you that, in my opinion, Betty can be full of herself sometimes. She can. She certainly can. And I think sometimes she may go too far. But I don't think this time was one of them. I mean, I don't. I don't. She wasn't out there with the bullhorn. I mean, all she was doing was hanging up flyers. That's all she was doing. And then you have this man out there. She wasn't talking to neighbors or anything, right? And please don't mention any creators in here. Please don't mention any creators, because I just want everyone to calm down. This is a child, y'all. This is a child, right? And listen, Betty, whenever things went on with Seth, when Seth was acting silly, to put it lightly, with Trevor, which I wholeheartedly was furious at Seth when he did that. But I have always supported Seth. But that's the thing. Everybody on, like, not everybody, but so many people on this platform, it's like you're in this camp or you're in that camp, and if you like this person, you can't like that person, or you can like some qualities about this person, right? But you don't have to agree with everything they do, right? That's all. That's all. I mean, Betty has sent me 2 messages in the past month that were not very nice. I'll just put it mildly, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think she was doing anything wrong. Now, do I agree with everything she does or says? No, I don't. I don't. But this time, like, I mean, she's runs her mouth or whatever and gets a little crazy sometimes. And I think that's not good, but I don't think she was doing anything wrong here. That's right, Miss Fletcher. Exactly. Exactly. Miss Fletcher and I love that woman to pieces, Miss Fletcher. Her and I don't agree on a lot of things. But you know what? I know that Mrs. Fletcher, I can trust her. She can trust me. She goes where she wants, places that I wouldn't go, but I don't care. I love the lady. Like, why do we all have to be in this camp? It's like your team this camp or your team that camp. Everything is not black or white always. Yeah, and listen. I love Betty. I don't agree with everything she says and does. I didn't appreciate it the way that she uh spoke to me, unmodded me, and a few others whenever I disagreed with Seth. But it doesn't change the fact that she does have good qualities about her. Every human being does. And I think we look on this, you know what? Some people, can we're all full of ourselves sometimes. We're all hypocrites in our own way, right? And yeah, and that's all she was doing. She was just out posting a child's missing posters. That's it. That's it. And then, you'll get flack, as YouTubers, well, why aren't you out there posting posters? And then you go out there and you're posting posters, and then why are you here? You know what I mean? So there's always going to be some people that just don't like you for whatever reason, you know, and that's okay. That's okay. Um, but she wasn't out there with a bullhorn saying you know, things, I mean, like, I don't agree with, you know, calling, Sebastian a package, right? I don't think that was, but I know that she cares. I do know that she cares at the end of the day. And oh, I didn't hear that one, Max Chico. Didn't hear that one. But we're not going to agree with each other all the time, right? And it's not about, it seems like everyone is like constantly on each other, like for what another channel does, right? And there is always going to be someone out there you disagree with. That's never going to change. It's never going to change, right? It's never going to change. But I don't feel she was doing anything wrong today. I really don't. And, I mean, you have this man who was following her. I mean, if he has time to do this, he has a grandson missing, right? She has a grandson missing. And there are things out there that, remember, Nina has said about them. Well, I mean, listen, Betty needs to go home and work in her community. Okay. I mean, she does. To give her credit, she does. But it's a free country. We can, it's a free country, and we're not always going to like what someone does. We just aren't, you know. Um no, tears, trust me. I get it. I get it. There was no, I don't want anyone to think I'm not here to take up or put down, because I understand why people get triggered by Betty. Like, I understand she's she's out there, right? She's out there. But I'm just saying, do we have to look at, like, I think it's absolutely awful to call someone defective, right? Um, it's awful. It's awful. I mean, no human being is defective. We are who we are, and that's wrong. Listen, I think we have to call out wrong no matter who it is, right? Um, but we also have to, when someone isn't doing, they may do things wrong in other ways, right? But when they're really not doing anything wrong at that particular time, is it, does it make them all wrong? Is what I'm saying, right? Are you always, is a person wrong from end to end, or is, can we say, that's not right, because Sebastian is not defective. Um, yeah, I just don't understand why, like, everything is like, oh God, this, oh God, that. You know what I mean? I mean, trust me, Betty and I disagree on a lot, a lot, a lot. We are two different styles of people for sure. Um, and but I don't think hanging up signs was something that was wrong. I don't see how, I don't see. I mean, if someone can enlighten me, maybe I'll see it different. You know what I mean? But I think we need to separate the incidents, right? Um, and that's right, Debbie. She was trying to do something productive. Oh, niece. Bullhorn Betty was telling what CP said. I haven't heard it, so again, so I probably shouldn't be. But I think, and again, I don't know if how she said it or anything because I didn't see it, but you have the stepfather who continually put Sebastian down, continually, under the same roof. You married his mother. You get what I'm saying? Like, why do we all have to be um team this or team that? I always try to take the good of what I like about someone, right? And enjoy that from them. And then what I don't like, I'll either tell them I don't agree with it or I just don't watch it, right? So, but I don't think that she was doing anything wrong. I mean, I don't. I want to do a poll, or now the poll is just for the signs, not whether you like her, don't like her, um, or whatever else. We're talking about just the signs. Was she in the wrong for doing the signs, in your opinion? Yeah, you can do the poll after you hear it. Sure. Yeah, of course. That's fair. Which channel was she on? I don't even remember. Was it the regular Bullhorn Betty? Okay. All right. Let me give her credit in my link. All right. So apparently she got, I don't know, they I was driving home, so I didn't like see it. But I was listening, and they said someone may have called the cops on her or something. Just rejoice. Thank you so much, chemistry queen. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for becoming sweet teas. All right. Credit goes to Bullhorn Betty. And so this is like, hold on. So she was going to go get like some food, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Um PJ, thank you so much for gifting 5 sweet teas, my dear. It's very sweet of you. It's very sweet. And thank you for becoming a member, son. Darling, thank you so much. Thank you. If you received your precious teacup, please thank our beloved PJ. Thank you, PJ. All right. So this is where she's going to go get something to eat. Um and she sees a police officer, and I guess he's like looking, like driving past her, and she's like, oh, he's looking at me funny. And I guess she like waves at him, and then he turns around, and I think he turns his lights on. I saw the lights at some point. He turns his lights on. I don't know if he turned it on right then and there, or he turned it on at some point. So I'm just going to show you a little briefing about. Here it is. All right. So she's getting out, and then okay, wait, here it is. Here's the cop.
How you doing, officer? That's me.
There she is.
All right, I have a funny feeling this officer's coming to talk to me.
Because I think he's turning around in the back.
I just saw him. Yeah, that's him.
That's true. Then, yeah, we're gonna show. So the officer comes and just tells her she says that she's doing nothing wrong. They didn't give her a ticket. They didn't do anything, right? Because she didn't break the law. She didn't break the law. And he told her to be careful. So then this happens. Hold on. Well, you can see I'm talking in the back and the lights on. Right? You can see I'm talking. There in the back. And she's showing him where she's putting up the signs and how she's putting up the signs. And you got to remember, uh, to be fair, there have been numerous people that have searched that have gotten threats, right? JLR got threats. Dolly got threats. I forget who the search group was, got threats. All of these people are getting threats. Why would anyone get threats for searching for a missing child? Like, what's wrong here? What is it? back up, Justin. His car was parked there too. He was stalking her. So there's that. It just makes you wonder. Okay, so the
The
car,
true crime does.
and this is he leaves, but what is unbeknownst to her at the time is someone is following her. Yeah. I mean, you would think people would welcome anyone putting up signs. When was it? I think it was April. I was in Tennessee for a conference. I was putting signs all over Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, and Gatlinburg. All over. Right? So anyone should welcome putting up signs. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's your worst enemy, right? Now, like, I understand, like, I get it. People may not like, someone out with the bullhorn or whatever. I understand getting some flack for that. I mean, I have did it. I'll never do it again. I don't think never say never, but I don't ever plan on doing it again. But I understand people not liking that, right? Getting, you have both sides, you have the yin and the yang, so to speak. But this was, nothing.
Does not belong here. This is true crime, not drama.
Now listen. Now Betty is, she's gloating a little bit. That's Betty. But I mean, she's.
Drama does not belong in true crime.
All right, let me. She's putting up the sun, but let me see some. Okay, here it is.
I want that to sink into everybody. I want you guys to pass this around. I want you guys to tell them how disgusting and nasty.
Now watch
and
this.
horrible and
It's
evil
about to
they
go
are.
down here.
You know who is causing all the threats in this community for people searching? Chris and Katie Proudfoots and their cohorts. That, my friend, is who is threatening the people of this community that come in.
Now, I don't think this is coming from any YouTuber. In my opinion, I don't think it's coming from any YouTuber. I think it's coming. Well, you'll see where it's coming from.
They threatened me.
At least
They
that I'm
threatened
aware.
me.
I mean, it may be, but YouTubers, they generally go back and forth. One will mention one name, the other one will mention the other's name, and then it's just people replying to each other. What's it?
Oh, Terry Bowerstocks. Oh, you wanna come around here? Oh, look at who it is. It's Terry Bowerstocks.
So I guess he was watching her, following her. Yes. You're about to see.
Look who just pulled up. In
It gets
the
crazy.
same QX80.
My mouth while I was driving was like, oh, what is going on? It's like, oh my God.
Coming up, taking my tag plate. Let's turn it around on his tag plate. Terry Bowerstocks. Terry Bowerstocks right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on. So you want to know who's harassing who out here? The proof is in the pudding. The Bowerstocks and the Proudfoots are are the ones coming and harassing people. That right there, my friend, is Terry Bowersocks.
Oh, I don't. Can you text me? Hold on.
Came by
Can you text me on 307? I don't have my phone up here.
and took a picture. Why are you taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by and filmed me, Mr. Bowersocks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place.
Yes,
Why are you harassing me and following me?
Why
are you harassing me and following me when I'm conducting business?
How can I be following you when
You
you're
just
behind
were
me?
in the plaza. You've been following me,
I was
sir.
stopping
You
over
guys
here.
have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days.
Prove it.
I am right here, sir.
Wait.
Right here, sir. Prove it? Yeah, I did just prove it, asshole.
That's crazy. It's just crazy that you have someone who, you may not like. You may not like her, right? But you can thank someone for putting up signs for your grandson, right? You can say, I really don't like you. I think you're, whatever, such and such. But you can say, I really appreciate you putting out those signs, right? But I don't understand why this guy is following her whenever she's just putting up signs. That's what I don't understand. He ran the red light, did he? Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. It is predicted. It is. He did not think she was going. So I guess he was sitting there while maybe she was there talking to the police officer. And, Miss Criminal, like, you wonder, that's the thing that, to me, that doesn't make the, what do I call them? The Bowerfoots look good, in my opinion, right? It's like, you'll spend time looking, following, where she's going, but they're not putting up signs or anything either, right? So it's just, hold on one second. Yeah, Don Wells, Stephen Stearns, and Don McDougal have all followed people searching and putting up signs. That's just, it's weird to me. Now, I understand if she's standing outside your house with the bullhorn, like, I get, even though it's a constitutional, you have the freedom to protest. I get people protesting back, right? Like protesting, back with their voice. I get that. I get that. But I don't see how she did anything wrong here. Right? The only thing she's doing is putting up a sign. So sorry, Justin, I'm going to have to just disagree with you on this one. Betty knows what she's doing, and it is baiting these people. But I don't understand, how is putting up signs around a town that, I mean, shouldn't that be what a grandfather, a grandmother, a stepfather, a mother should want? You get what I mean? I mean, if seeing a sign, you know what I mean? If seeing a sign of your child or your grandson triggers you, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Thank you so much, Direct Current. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. Oops. There we go. So, you know, that's where I have a hard time with it. You know, I mean, someone. So Miss Fletcher says, not the signs, Justin. The going up and down the road, the pics proving someone is stalking them. That's baiting them, in my opinion. What do you mean, Miss Fletcher? Like, you know, I mean, I think if you're, I mean, I see what you're saying. I think I know what you're trying to say. If you want to add more to that, like I understand to a point, but she's not knocking on neighbors' doors. She actually hasn't even been live, I don't think, for most of her trip. I think she's usually goes live, the pick of Katie and Faith now twice. I don't agree with the pick of Faith. I think that's wrong. People have sent it to me 1,000 times. I'm not going to show it. I get that. I understand that. Like, I understand. I don't agree with that either. Right? But I don't know. I don't know, you know, I really don't know. In my opinion, they have chased everyone away from JLR. Cajun Navy tried with Charlie, Terry Lynn, and CJ, and that is a valid point, Guidance. Why are these people being chased away? Right? Why are they being chased away? And if you believe Nina, I mean, look what she alleged. Look what she alleged that they tried to do to her. Jules, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you. Oops. Thank you, love. That's what it begins to feel like, right? I mean, you know, and this is where I truly do think it becomes hypocritical to a point, because I think it depends on if you agree with the Proudfoots or you agree with the Bowerfoots. That's okay, my dear. You're fine. Because I think that if people agreed with the Proud Foots, the Bauer Foots, whatever they are, um, I don't think they would have a problem with it. I don't think they would have a problem probably them putting up maybe signs. I think that it is, if you think that there may be more involved and you're putting up those signs, then they're going to, Haley, good to see you, going to you know, not like you. Yeah, I know it sucks, but I just add them together. Well, I like, again, I've heard of, again, I'm just trying to be fair. I've heard of people saying Chris took the signs down, Bauer Sox took the signs down, and you guys know where I stand, what I think. I think there's some involvement of foul play somewhere with Sebastian's case, but there is no proof that I'm aware of that Chris or the Bauer Sox have taken anything down. But again, it raises questions to why she's just putting signs up. That's it. That's all she's doing. Yes, please use allegedly, or in my opinion. Jules, thank you so much, my dear. And direct current, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. So, I've really tried to understand both sides. I really, really try here. Because I think that's the only way we're ever going to at least understand each other. Because, I mean, honestly, we all have some sort of bias, right? We all do. It's human nature, right? But we have to ask ourselves, why. Thank you, Justin, for your calming spirit and being fair. I back BHB. The family should thank her for driving. And that is a very, very fair point. That's a very fair point. I mean, she did drive a long way, right? She did drive a long way. I mean, is she compensated? Of course she is. But there's a lot of people on here that are in, true crime, and not that you're required to go out, in the field or anything, but you don't have to do it, right? You don't have to do it. And anytime you get like a big interview, you go out, there's always going to be people who aren't going to like it, right? Well, that's exactly right, HGC. That's the question. If it was, someone that supported them, would they have a problem with it? I don't know. I wouldn't think that they would. I think, and that is, in my opinion, somewhat hypocritical. If you want to be the center of attention, I think that's what she wants. Well, I mean, you know, this is the thing, you know, being the center of attention, while you're putting out signs, I mean, she's not doing anything wrong, right? She's not doing anything wrong here by putting out signs. Now, could she have, you know, maybe done something on the trip that we don't know? Possibly, but I figured it would come out by now if she did. I don't know. I just think that please do not mention any creators in chat. Mods, if you see any creator mentioned that is in a negative light, delete it. If you have something positive to say, it can stay. But we're not going to talk about that's not the way I roll. Just not the way I roll. So I used to love Bullhorn Betty, but her behavior the last month has made me completely turn the other way, Alabama Mama 4 says. And I understand that, Alabama Mama 4. Betty and I have bumped heads over this case. We certainly have. I mean, she bumped heads with me, to be honest with you. But I understand what was debunked. No arguing. No arguing. Listen, no arguing. Listen, we're adults. Can we talk it out? Can we talk it out? Right? And this is what I say. You know, you don't know what happened to Sebastian, and neither do I. We can think and believe that there is foul play in, you know, personally, in your personal opinion, but whatever happened to Sebastian on the night of February 25th going into the early morning hours of the 26th has already happened to him. Me arguing and you arguing with each other, everyone's arguing about something they don't know. Of course, you can have your opinion, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. But it doesn't mean we gotta force each other to believe. Because honestly, have you ever seen a creator the entire time you've been on YouTube? Oh, thank you, Jules. Have you ever seen a YouTuber or anyone's mind be changed? And the reason is because people are going to believe and stand where they are. Right? Now, we should always be open to learning, looking at it from the other side, usually thinking about it before we speak. That helps a lot. Thank you, niece. Hey, Mimi. It's just, thank you, 7. But like, I mean, like, I understand that's right. Me and Miss Fletcher were on opposite sides of this case, right? We talk almost every day, right? Texting. And listen, there can be moments of you getting flustered, right? Because you're just in it, right? You're just in it. But, you know, give each other some grace, man. I mean, I don't think any of us agree with even our family members all the time, right? Your wife, your husband, your kids, your aunt, your uncle. The police. Thank you, Miss Truth Sleuth. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate it. Hi, Justin. In my opinion, there is something very wrong here. Still harassing people 4 months later. Then law enforcement shows up. I thought law enforcement wanted people to be out there putting up posters. How would law enforcement know where to find her? I understand. I do understand. And I agree with that. I don't think, I mean, I think the, you know, I think probably one of the family members may have called. So the police went into a parking lot, driven in, then turned around and put the lights on. And Terry just happened to be there in the parking lot too. Fair point, Mohawk. Fair point. Fair point. Tori, thank you so much, my dear. Jesus, take the wheel. We need a lot of Jesus right now. Yes, we do. Is this recent? Like 2 hours ago? But, you know, I don't want anyone to get physically hurt. You know what I mean? I don't want any soul to get hurt. Okay, I'll play it again.
Just had to go back into it. It allowed me to resume it. It looked like it went off. It really did. Yeah, it looked like it went off. My phone overheated. It's freaking 100-degree weather here, guys. Like, it's literally 100 degrees. It's 100 degrees and my phone got too hot. So
now it's gonna happen here in a second.
Today was a long day. For those that are just joining in, the hate channels decided to call the law on Bullhorn Betty for literally posting missing and endangered missing flyers. This is what they called the law on me for posting these on posts. They literally called the law for me posting flyers today. Chris and Katie Proudfoot's army,
in just a second,
of criminals that are trying to thwart the search for this boy literally called the law. Had an officer waste his time to come here and counsel me on posting flyers. They said I was running through the yards of these community. I was in my car. I moved up. I posted a flyer. I moved up. I posted a flyer. I moved up. Hardly running through property. They lied to law enforcement yet again to try to have me arrested. Every community I go to. You guys see how evil these hate channels are? These criminal channels that help criminals? Every time you guys go watch their garbage, you're supporting them wasting law enforcement resources. Because let me tell you, it doesn't really matter. I'm Bullhorn Betty, okay? If I want to go and get a ticket, hell, I'll even go to this clink clink for some stupid bullshit when it comes to advocating for children. I will literally freaking chain myself to a post and have them cut the chains off me and drag my ass to jail and be processed within 24 hours if I so need to. I'm an advocate and an activist, and
You know what I think a lot of it is on YouTube? I'll be honest with you. I think it's a lot of egos.
cut where all of that is circle. Oh,
Hold on, wait 1 second. Okay, he was behind her. You could see. Oh, there he is. You can see right here. See, he's coming out.
Oh, Terry Bowersox.
Hold on, let's see. Was he here? Well, you
Eight
can't.
channels. Calling law enforcement. They threaten me. Oh, Terry Bowersox. Oh, you wanna come around here? Oh, look at who it is. It's Terry Bowersox. Look who just pulled up. In the same QX80.
I was like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. I cannot believe this is happening right now.
Coming up, taking my tag plate. Let's turn it around on his tag plate. Terry Bowersox. Terry Bowersox, right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on.
Now
So
she's
you
getting
want to
ready.
know who's harassing who out here?
She's getting out here. Is
The
what
proof
she's
is
doing.
in the pudding. The Bowersox and the Proudfoots are the ones coming and harassing people. That right there, my friend,
Cannot
is Terry
believe it.
Bowersox. Came by and took a picture. Why are you taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by and filmed me, Mr. Bowersox.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place.
I mean, he did admit that he was filming her.
Yes.
Why are you harassing me and following me?
Why
Why are
True.
you harassing me and following me when I'm conducting business?
How can I be following you when
You
you're behind
just were
me?
in the plaza. You've been
I think so
following
too,
me,
Tracy.
sir. You guys have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days.
Prove it.
I am right here, sir.
Wait.
Right here, sir. Prove it? Yeah, I did just prove it, asshole. Better go through that fucking light.
What do you mean? Look at the tail lights on Terry's car.
Fuck with me. I don't need violence. I will capture you on film. Prove it? There it is. Who's following? Who's stalking? Who's harassing? Who? The proof is in the pudding.
So that's it. That's it. Justin, have you or can you check on information about SR arrest? Some interview. What? It's the first I've heard about in charge for some I don't believe anybody charged. I don't believe anybody charged. I don't think anybody charged. I don't think Chris charged for an interview. I don't think Katie charged for an interview. I don't think that. I think there's just a lot of rumors. And that's fair, Dina Lynn. That's fair. I mean, it's like I said, you don't have to agree with someone to appreciate something they're doing that's good. And I just don't think that she was in the wrong for what she was doing there. You know what I mean? Like, and again, you guys know that Betty and I disagree on things, but in this case, I personally don't think she was doing wrong just by. I think she was going to this restaurant and she, was posting up some flyers. So, yes, he did. That's fair point, C-Star. He did follow JLR. He did follow JLR, and he made a conference. He got out of the car on that one. Remember that? That's true. He got out of the car for that. And the problem is and yes, and I don't think Queen Bee or Clue had anything to do with this. They followed Dolly, yes. I don't think they had anything to do with this. I think this came from the Proud Socks. Just getting the feel for Sebastian last day. She can eat wherever she went. Yes, it's like 98. It was all Bauer Socks. But JLR doesn't get hate for confronting, and Bullhorn Betty does. Fair point. Fair point. That's fair. Bullhorn Betty is a woman and thought he could rule her. They want to be identified, or they would use another vehicle. Thank you, Linda Lou. There's YouTube channels bragging about calling the cops. I mean, I think if we all just stayed in our own lane and do what we do, and as long as we're being decent, we should just stay in our lane. And that's, Chloe, that's why I'm like let's get back to Sebastian, because this loses everything, right? This it's, and Mohawk made a great point. The cops was there, and so were the Bauer Sox, like in the same parking lot, and that's weird. Why are they following not just Betty, right? Guys, mods, please, if you guys mention any creator negatively in chat, please don't mention creators put in a certain chat or whatever, but please don't mention any creators negatively in here. We're all, we don't need it. I don't know. Well, I believe they should be thankful for her driving all the way to Florida and putting up signs. I agree. Yeah. Mods will delete if it's negative about another creator. It will be deleted. Doesn't mean you can't disagree with another creator, but just don't put their name. I think this incident shows why the Proudfoots and BS can act the way they do. Law enforcement acts on their behalf. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't do the back and forth stuff. I mean, if we're here for true crime, we need to stay here for true crime. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't want Chris, Katie, the Bower Sox, Betty, anyone to be hurt. You know what I mean? And whenever these things happen, egos and emotions drive, right? It drives the narrative, and we've all done stupid stuff, and we look back and we're like, what the hell was I thinking? And something like this could, God forbid, happen, and someone gets hurt for what? And if we're doing, we're trying to do good, trying to keep Sebastian. I mean, does people just want, Sebastian's name not out there anymore? Is that what they want? Or do the family just wants the people, or it's okay if you agree with them, right? Like if you agree with the Bowerfoots or whoever, are those people okay to continue to talk about Sebastian, or is it just the people that may disagree with them? And if so, then that is a double standard. That would be hypocritical. Yeah, we don't want anybody getting hurt. I mean, you guys know where I personally stand on this, and I do believe Sebastian did not. Thank you, Chemistry Queen. I do believe that Sebastian, in my opinion, didn't walk out on his own. I think he would have certainly been found. I do not think that he would have ran in the woods barefoot with no shoes on or just socks on. I don't think he would have went far. I don't personally think he would have walked out the door even. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't make me right. Doesn't make me wrong either. Just don't know. And everyone, has, whatever's happened to Sebastian's happened. Why are the family threatened by someone hanging? I don't know, Elisa. And that's the question. If you're not doing anything wrong, what is so threatening about it? Beverly says, Justin, you're not allowed to post signs on the mall trees. Bower Sox had to be following her and then call the cops to report her. That could very well be. Justin, you're always a professional and maintain a great channel. You keep a place above board no matter what. Thank you, Microdot. I appreciate that. I just don't think I just think we all get a little crazy sometimes, and emotions get involved. And then when emotions get involved, common sense goes out the door. It does. It does in every time. And, you know, every year you do like a New Year's resolution. And a few years ago, my New Year's resolution was, always trust your first instinct and follow that. It's telling you something for a reason. And to really try to not say something that you maybe want to take back later, right? Because you can't unring a bell once it's said. If you say it, it's out there forever. And I think, I mean, people want us, to be, when we're on our YouTube channel, speaking about cases or anything else, they want us, they want us to be interesting. They want to be able to learn. People don't want to sit and watch someone foaming of the mouth, screaming constantly. He didn't deny harassing her. He immediately response was, "Prove it." That tells me all I need to know. You have a fair point, Susan. And he did say that he was taking pictures of her and following her. He admitted that while driving is breaking the law. It is. I don't know if the streaming, I think if it's hands-free, it's no different than a what is it, a dash cam, but I think it would maybe depend on the state and how it's done, but thank you, I appreciate it. I saw Annie covered Sebastian. I haven't watched yet, but continue to get exposure. Yeah. They're only claiming to get threats, clicks, and views. I mean, I do believe that there have been threats, or if not threats, some intimidation. Because, I mean, we did see, again, the Bowers Foots or whatever they are. We have seen them get out of the car with JLR and threaten JLR, right? And you guys know I love JLR. I think he's doing amazing work, and I don't think he was doing anything wrong at the time either. I remember the pictures or something. Maybe you put it on X or something like that. Thank you so much, Don Grandma. 2 months. Hi, Justin, my beautiful friend. Hello, Jazir. Is it? Yeah, Jazir, Texas. Thank you so very much, my dear. I love you, Justin, and I pray you stay like you. I know the best way to get back at someone is to ignore them. That's enough hate and fighting in the world. Let's be kind to each other and stay classy and respectful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Elizabeth, thank you so much for your super sticker, my dear. Appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, I just think we could both understand where each other's coming from, and I think there's, each side has some valid points, but I don't think should be trying to dictate each other. She said outside. What is it? Yeah, I mean, I did it happen to Dolly too? May have happened to Dolly too. But who was it that was searching? There was a group that was searching, and they said that they are no longer doing it because they have been, getting threats and intimidation. It is. It is. It is. It's intimidating. It is strange. Um, the thing that people are free to drive on a public street, absolutely right. There absolutely are. Do you think this case is going to be solved? I can't imagine the police being corrupt, but there is certainly a good argument to be had. So I don't believe the police are necessarily corrupt. I think, in my opinion at least, but I think that this is not going to be solved unless Sebastian is found, or someone comes forward that knows something and it's a big break, or someone admits a foul play, or they can have enough evidence that there is some foul play with proving that something really bad happened to Sebastian. I hope and pray Sebastian, God, I hope and pray he's alive, and I pray to God that there's no foul play, but I just don't see it. I don't see how. I mean, I just don't see how, in my opinion, foul play is not likely. I don't want to tell anybody how to believe. I just tell you what I find and my opinion. Did CP have his fingertips messed up? Like his fingerprints? I don't know. Really don't know. And Sandwich, that is a big problem for me personally, right? Guys, can we get to 1,000 likes? I'd really appreciate it. Come on. Help a queen out. Come on. Your child is missing and you're not looking should be a crime in itself. Yeah. I don't understand how. Thank you, Rickson. I don't understand how a mother didn't look, will not speak without, on her own. In my opinion, there's major holes. You guys know where I stand on that. But again, at the end of the day, does any of us know where Sebastian is or what happened to him? No. Because if we did, we wouldn't be here right now. Right? I agree. In my opinion, I agree with that. If Sebastian is eventually found in water by his own misadventure and no parent to blame, it's still weird to chase search efforts off. Zoot, I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. Why would you, either way you look at it, right? right? If there is no foul play, why are you chasing someone that's just putting up flyers? And if there is some sort of foul play and somebody knows it or is involved, and they're, chasing someone off putting flyers, then to me it just makes the person look worse, regardless of whether you agree with them or not. Oh, thank you, Sparkling Bubbles. And again, that's the thing with when it comes to Katie, right? Specifically Katie. If you are not with Katie, if she would happen to be involved, right? You're not looking. But let's say she has absolutely nothing to do with, anything to do with her son missing. Well, that's very concerning to me as well, because you're a mother, and most parents, you could not keep them down because your kid's missing. Hey, bees. Right? Your kid's missing. And she didn't do anything. Like, there was nothing that I saw or heard that was, they did a few interviews. I give them credit for that. I give them credit for doing the interview. Absolutely. I don't know why it took so long to do an interview. I think that's weird at the minimum, but I give him credit for doing the interviews and answering some questions. But I haven't seen him being proactive in over, months, right? It's like, and to beat it all, no matter whether you stand on Chris and Katie's side or Seth's side or somewhere in the middle or none, Seth has been trying to speak with Katie. And regardless of whether you have personal, struggles with each other and you don't like each other now or whatever, you should both want to, be in sync with one another and communicate with each other on your son. And Katie will not speak with Seth, which makes me very suspicious, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Because you may not like each other, but you made a child with each other, and that's what you'll always have, that bond of making a child with each other and in the best interest of Sebastian before he was missing and now. That's a relationship you need to be in sync with each other with. And in my opinion, I think Katie will not talk to Seth because someone you was married to very well, their mannerisms, when they're lying, the way they look at you, right? Those things. And I think that, again, whether they have anything to do with it or not, I think Seth would be able to see that. That's my opinion. But I don't believe Betty did anything wrong today. I don't. Her and I don't agree on a lot. A lot. But I think she gets a little ahead of herself sometimes. And she says, and she gets in the heat of things. She says some things. But I think all of us do on YouTube at times. None of us are. We're all just willing to put up with more because we like that creator for whatever reason. Is what it is. And we're willing to be hypercritical of the creator or creators that we don't like. It just is what it is. And I think if we can get past that, we'll be able to, because I really believe, I really honest to God believe most people are good, regardless of, we may not be good all the time, like, you know, but we're not supposed to be good all the time. We should try. We fail, but I believe most people are decent. Right? I believe most people are decent. They may do some shitty things from time to time, say some shitty things, do some shitty things, but that doesn't make you a totally, right, just horrible person. I mean, unless you're not harming, you know, children, elderly, unaliving someone, hurting animals, you know, those types of people I have nothing for at all. Those type of people that harm children, unalive them, harm them in any way, elderly, animals, someone who can't fend for themselves with a disability or something, those people, throw them to the wolves. But other than that, I believe most people are decent and good. Same Nana's Dragon. Same. Yeah. And that's the thing, Misty. We're not dealing with, you know, a lot of the people we're talking about are not good people. True crime is very messy. It's very messy. Right? It's very messy. So that's that. Is there any way you can get a message to Bullhorn Betty? Please let her know we support it. Yeah. I agree. Most people are decent. We all make mistakes and do things we regret. Grace needs to be extended, but not to those who intentionally harm others or aid those who harm. I agree. Thank you, Elizabeth. I don't know if I said thank you earlier. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. So yeah, I agree. Why would the Bauer Sox constantly stalk search and people trying to help? I don't know. To me, this made them look more suspicious. in my opinion, it made him look more suspicious. And the reason is this is now a pattern of behavior, right? One time doing it with, thank you, Lily. One time doing it with JLR, that's weird, right? But then, okay, Dolly, okay, and then there's other people that have claimed that they've been threatened or intimidated, and then we have, so this is like 5 or so times these types of things have happened. I think you're right. SRC's CP. I believe that. It does. I agree with that. Because, yeah, Rickson. Yeah. We got 1,000 likes. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, I like JLR. And I've worked with JLR in the past. JLR is a very good guy. He is really worked his ass off the last few years. He had a history a long time ago, and so many people don't let people forget about a different place they were in their life. But once you do good and continue to do good and paid your debt to society, you didn't unalive someone, right? So I think JLR is a very good person. I agree. And I don't think that I think he's worked his butt off, literally. I mean, he's worked very hard. So, I'm just wondering why, if she wasn't doing anything wrong, and he's admitted to following her and taking pictures and all of that. He could be like, you know what? I despise what you think about me. Think that, and not like her. But if she's just out on a Tuesday afternoon putting signs up that's costing him, the family, not a red cent, why do they have a problem with that? Why would they have a problem with that? Why do they have a problem with every time someone comes to town, when they are searching, when they are putting out flyers? Shout out to JLR. I told you, girl. They are popping their heads up. That's very suspicious. Right? And let me tell you something. Terry Lynn. Sorry. Someone's putting out fireworks. Terry Lynn. Love that lady. Love Terry Lynn. She is so funny. And She bust her ass every day. It is hot out there. It doesn't matter where you are right now in America. She bust her ass day and night, night and day. And she's been threatened. She's been threatened. She's had her tires slashed. For what? Helping look for a kid? Why? For what? For what? Simone says it's about BHB's actions for Sebastian, not the person. What do you mean, Simone? Like, are you saying you don't agree with? Sometimes I think in Betty's case, a lot of times, and I've told my husband this, it's not the message, it's the delivery. And I think sometimes, and I think in general, for women especially, if they are really strong and opinionated, a lot of people don't like it for whatever reason. They want the case to go cold because there's something very dark, nefarious they're going in. Terry Lynn is a boss. Yeah, she's very reactive. She's very reactive, and I think I think sometimes it's warranted, and sometimes I think she fires off too heavy too quick. Like with when she texted me like a month ago and said she hurt my feelings. She like really hurt my feelings. Because I was pissed at Seth that night when he treated Trevor that way. I was pissed at him because that's not who Trevor is. Trevor is one of the best people you will ever meet, and to be so young and mature and orderly and can control his his tongue and not be exploding like a lot of us adults are here on YouTube, and only wants the best for these kids. I think Seth is off on that, and I still think Seth is off on that, but I support Seth. But then, and I support Seth to this day because he didn't have anything to do with his son missing. He was at work for 12 hours. Yeah, I mean, but and again, I tried to be respectful that night, but I was pretty heated at the moment, to be quite honest with you, Janine. And I mean, I wasn't cussing or screaming or anything like that, but I was like, I'm furious at you, Seth, and everything. But the next morning, I got a text from Betty. And it was, I'm unmodding you. I'm unmodding some other people. I've left your Facebook groups. All of this. God bless. Well, that was very hurtful because I try to be respectful to everyone, whether I agree with them or I don't agree with them. And I thought that was uncalled for Betty, to be quite honest with you. And then a couple days later, I kind of said some not nice things about her. I was hurt. I said things because I was hurt because I couldn't believe out of anyone, because she was in her feelings at that time. She made, in my opinion, an irrational decision out of anger. And I figured if anyone could understand, it would have been her. But because I think she took it as, you know, a lot of people, a lot of creators on YouTube, as you're one side or the other, right? You're, because you just you just, you know, told Seth that he was wrong for this, that means I wasn't supporting Seth anymore. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It would just meant that I didn't like that action, that what he said, and that he's wrong on that, in my opinion. But I still support you on finding your kid. We're still going to look. We're still, you know, doing everything we can. But I think she took it too far too quick. Do you think advanced interrogation techniques should be used with obvious suspects in missing kids cases? How do you mean when by advanced? How do you don't gotta super chat me again? Just mods, let me know if I miss it. As in advanced, how do you mean? Yes, I see. Yeah, I know. I wasn't sure if that's how they meant it. Burnt popcorn. I mean, like, if you mean by advanced as in physical, there's two sides of me on that. And the emotional sides of me says do whatever you need to do. But we're in America and it doesn't fly like that here. And I don't think that, you know, we fought so hard, people fighting right now for our freedoms and our freedom of that we're all afforded. And I don't think that physical punishment to get something out of someone, because you can technically do that to someone who had nothing to do with it, and they would admit something that they didn't do, right? So, you know, if it's, you know, if you're like in some Middle Eastern country or something, if where they do that kind of stuff, and you know, there is no innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, right? Now here we can have our opinions on someone, whether we think they're maybe involved or not, but if you know, you go to court there, it's going to, like, if you go to court here, it's, you're seen as innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecutor, right? 1 second, y'all. But over there, in a lot of the countries, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And then even if you're innocent, a lot of the times people pay judges, they pay there's so much bribery over there. So no, I don't agree with advanced techniques, so to speak. Because if we do that, then we're no better. Just because this time she was putting up flyers, but said she was doing her investigation, asking questions following the Proudfoots. Thank you so much, Calypso. I appreciate it. He didn't tell him, and he didn't because he thought Seth would confront CP and lose his job. So Nina, sometimes past trauma causes people to overact. It does. I overreact sometimes. I'm not taking sides, but do you think NBHB could talk it out? Oh, listen. I'm not mad at Betty. I don't get mad. I'm not mad at anyone. You know what I mean? We're not fighting, really. You know what I mean? She just said something very nice to me about my channel just a little bit ago. You know what I mean? I am always ready to work it out with anybody on here. Anybody. People overreact sometimes, and sometimes they just need a cool down period. Sometimes, people always come around, right? But again, it doesn't, regardless, it doesn't make me agree with her on everything, and it doesn't make me disagree with her on everything either. Yeah, Miss Criminal. Yeah. He is a hard worker. He's a very hard worker. And I just try to be fair. The Obama administration got rid of habeas corpus, so we really don't have innocent to proven guilty. You can be detained without charges and held indefinitely now. Americans do not know this happened. I don't think you can be held forever, right? Yeah, Carla, I believe that I really do. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'll be live in just a little bit on my other channel, Clutch Them Pearls. Love you all. I appreciate you being here, no matter where you stand. I appreciate you voicing your opinion. You all made very, very good points, every single one of you. And you all had valid points, no matter where you stood on it. Legitimate and real. So, love you all. Just wanted to bring, we all need to just, there is so much going on in the world, y'all, right now. There is so much happening to these kids. There is so much happening anywhere you go. And if we become, if we get insane, everybody else goes insane, right? So let's take a breath. It all works out. As we say in the South, it all comes out in the wash. All right, guys. Love you. I'll see you guys. I'll be live probably in about 30 minutes from now on Clutch Them Pearls. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.